scribes approached them, he heard them debating and saw that Jesus answered them well. He asked him, which command is the most important of all? Is the scribes asking Jesus. Jesus responds, or Jesus answered, this is the most important. Listen, Israel. The Lord, our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other command greater than this. Then scribes said to him, you are right, teacher. You have correctly said that he is one, and there is no one else except him. When I was studying this text, it came to my mind that how can I love God with loving God with all my heart, with all my soul, with all my mind, with all my strength? It is something that we should ask a question and try to understand how can we love God. Most of the times we go to church, we give our tithes and offering to support the work of God, and we do like other staffs to see that the work of God is done. Is that love, or that Jesus means? I mean, can we understand the better? I'm going to give the platform and everybody can express how can you love God? Like when Jesus points this and says that you must love God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. And the second, he emphasizes that you should love your your neighbor as yourself. How can you love your neighbor as yourself? It is another question that we should understand, because it is that is greater than no other greater than this. So these scribes, I don't know, he wants to understand more about the commands of God. Now, up to this point in the Gospel of Mark, most of the religious leaders, with few exceptions, are antagonists into Jesus. We have seen most of them having more controversial. I mean, they are after Jesus, knowing what he will teach, and they want to make some judgment to Jesus. This is particularly true in Jerusalem, where Jesus has confronted the leadership over the temple. We saw the other day, they did not have, a good business in the church. They had their own interests, and Jesus washed the temple by chasing them away because they were not doing the will of God, that which stands at the heart of the Judaism. That's for a scribe to listen to the disputes and appreciate Jesus. We see here for many questions that the scribe, the Pharisees that had asked Jesus, they were like not understanding what he told them. But here we see the scribe understanding and response, displays both honest and courage in face of preferring honesty towards Jesus. It could be easier to just stand back and watch, even if one were in sympathy with Jesus, but this man does not do that. The scribe cuts the heart of religion with his question as to which commandment is the most important. Jesus responds with simplicity and clarity, quoting the Shema, the conversion of faith in Judaism from Deuteronomy. Chapter 6, verse 4 and 5 is the one which emphasizes that you love your God with all your soul, with all your heart, with all your mind and strength. And is referring to the Old Testament. The greatest commandment says that Jesus is love. To love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. That is with He total of who you are. Jesus gives the scribe upon us by listening the second most important commandment, citing the Old Testament again, this time from Leviticus 19:18, to love your neighbor as yourself. This lesson, I think it touches all of us. How do you love God? How do you love your neighbor? Because it's a command of God.